I want everybody to hear this. How many of you have ever been really hurt by someone? I mean, really hurt. This, I think, will really inspire everybody, and I pray for others that need to hear this testimony. So go ahead, Krista.
Hi. First, I want to say that God is so very, very good to me.
Amen.
He's just good. So I'll start by giving you a little bit of background so that you can understand the freedom and the deliverance that God has given me. In February of 2013, I broke off an engagement with my ex-fiance. I lived in Michigan at the time. He wasn't happy about it at all, and things got very bad very, very quick. In March, I had a protective order against him, and on April 9th, 2013, he broke into my home through a window before I had gotten home. When I got home, before I saw him, he maced me and he tackled me to the ground. He beat me, he bound me with duct tape, and he held me against my will for hours in my home, tormenting me under threat of a shotgun. He intended to rape me and kill me that night. And I remember while I was bound and I was praying, God, you have to send me help. I can't get away from him. And I began to pray in the Spirit. And as I prayed in the Spirit, the atmosphere just changed. I believe he opened the eyes of my spirit. The air became thick. It became like four-dimensional. I could see the molecules. It was just so strange. And then I saw a large translucent shade of light in one area of my home, and I saw it cross through my living room to the other side, and sound had turned off. I could still hear him in the background mumbling, but it had turned into a background noise. And as soon as that light got across the living room, everything shifted back, and I was back in the physical realm. I managed to escape that night. He set down the shotgun and took me in the bedroom to rape me, and I took that opportunity and I ran. And I remember when he caught up to me and he tackled me down again. He was on top of me, and I remember thinking, I can't believe this is how I'm going to die. And God is so good, because I don't care how scrappy I am, there's no way I can wrestle off a 6 foot, 270 pound man. You can't do it naturally. God intervened, and I am here. Over the next year, we had a long trial. I spent 4 months in hiding at a shelter for domestic and sexual assault, in fear for my life. And in March of 2014, he was sentenced to a very long time in prison. I had developed post-traumatic stress. I sold my home, I quit my job, and I left Michigan. The day after the trial, I left Michigan, and I've never lived there since. I came out here in June of 2014, and I came to Passion. And I believe in August, I started going to the healing rooms, and I got prayer for flashbacks, panic attacks, and nightmares. And the healing didn't come right away. I remember them asking me, do you have faith for this healing? And I said, absolutely not. But I have hope. And I remember during the winter, we had a communion time, And I remember taking the communion, and I remember thinking about the sacrifice of Christ and just realizing that he was betrayed by somebody he loved. He was falsely accused, he was stripped, he was beaten, and he was tortured to death. And he walked into that willingly. I lived. I got justice. And there's no way I would willingly walk into a situation like that again, knowing what was going to happen. And he did it, and he did it for me.
Yeah.
And the weight of that love and the realization of the sacrifice, it was so heavy. And as I was taking communion and I was thanking God and I was crying, I heard him speak to my heart. And he said, I did that for him. And it just broke me. God just doesn't love me that much. He loves the person that tried to kill me that much. And he wants to see him brought back to him too. And I realized I had this unforgiveness for him. And I repented and I gave it to God, and a weight fell off of me. And I hadn't even realized what the weight was. I hadn't even realized I'd been carrying it. And it fell off of me, and it brought a freedom that I'm not certain how to explain. When you're harboring unforgiveness for somebody, it doesn't hurt them. It's like drinking poison and thinking it's going to hurt them. And forgiveness, I think so often we connect it with justification, and we connect it with love, and we connect it with trust. Because when we're forgiven by God, we're justified and we're loved unconditionally. But forgiveness that I would offer him does not mean it's okay. It doesn't mean his actions were justified. If he's looking for justification, he has to go to Christ.
Yeah.
So I was able to give that forgiveness and disconnect it from justification and just disconnect it from love. I was so afraid that if I really forgave him, that I would love him again.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to. And another really awesome thing God did was delivering me from a bondage I had to duct tape. If I saw it, if I heard it, it would just set me off. I would collapse on the floor. It would be really bad. And I came forward one day to get healing from that bondage because I didn't want it, and I know there's healing for it. And the person that prayed for me, she said, see it in the work of the cross. And I thought, how am I going to do that? And Christ showed me an image of him when he was bound and when he was beaten and when he was bloody. And I looked at him and I saw him, and he wasn't bound with rope. He was bound with duct tape. And he looked up at me, and in his eyes I just saw the purest love that you can't really comprehend. And it reached into my soul. And he looked up at me and our eyes met, and he said, it's okay. I know. And the fear was gone. He doesn't have that control over me anymore. And I just encourage you, whatever your bondage is, whatever form it's taken, whatever hurts you have or whatever, unforgiveness you might hold. And give it to Christ and find the healing, because it's there.
Yeah. Amen.